Hello dear students, I know there has been a change in the AIMS pattern. You have seen this in the prospectus and I know many of you are worried about how to go about it. I decided I will create a video which will help us to find out what are the changes, what to expect, how to deal with them. And my goal here is to tell you that this is not the only thing that we'll do. I will follow it up with a lot of videos on YouTube and our Damn Silly Facebook page and the club, where the teachers will help you on each style of question. And also we will do some special programs in the next CBT. Also we will have a paper on the similar pattern. So I want everybody to remain calm. So whenever a change happens, some people panic, some people they maintain calm. At the end of the day, it is medicine. At the end of the day, it is all the concepts that we have learned in the classes, you learned with us, you've learned from your books, you have worked hard to understand all of them. You just need to see that it is a different way of asking a thing. Okay, let me explain to you. Let me show you the changes and let's try to see them one by one. So this is the current pattern of exam. This is what they are saying. They are saying that there will be a pattern of questions which are called as single best response, which will be evaluated by a +1 and -1 by 3. So please notice, single best answer means there are 4 choices. Out of them, 1 is the answer, 3 are not the answer. You have to pick up the right answer, and if you pick up a wrong answer, you get penalized 1/3 of the marks. This is the usual pattern that you had. And I have a feeling that this is the pattern where you would have all those visuals and the videos that we had in the past. So they would usually fit into a single best response type, or there can be more than one answer also with a visual. For example, I'll talk about it in a brief while. For example, one visual is that I mark a structure on brain. I say identify the structure. Then there is only one answer possible. Second is I show you an X-ray of miliary tuberculosis or a miliary mottling on X-ray, and I say what are the answers possible. Then that image becomes more than one answer. Same would apply for all pattern-based sciences like dermatology, pathology. There is possibility in each image to have a DD. Then they become more than one answer. But usually the images, they fit more with a single based answer kind of a scenario, because for our undergrad we are usually trying to look for a typical picture like a right upper lobe collapse or a pathology slide showing a typical hematological finding or a dermatological disease. So I would believe that there would be a good chunk of questions which are single best response. This is the pattern so far. What is the new thing now? New thing is, look at the second pattern that they have defined. They have given a pattern called as multiple true and false. Let us try to gradually look at them again. So this is the pattern that I was talking about. Single best answer, 4 alternative, correct answer 1, incorrect answer 1/3. The second pattern that they're saying is multiple true false kind of question, where each option is being evaluated separately at 1/5 plus and 1/5 minus. Let's try and understand. Now see, so this is the question. So you have to mark each alternative as either a true or a false, or leave it. Like they have given a question on modified Jones criteria on rheumatic fever. They've given 5 choices and you have to give either +1/5 or you get -1/5. So what is the ratio of negative here? So I hope you noticed, when this is a single best answer, the ratio of negative was 1/3 was 33%. Here it is 100% negative marking. So if you get a choice wrong, you get 100% negative for that. And you will know, some of you would panic, sir, you have not seen this question before. Don't panic. This is the same thing that was happening in PGI Chandigarh. In PGI Chandigarh exam, if you remember, there were 5 choices. Any number of answers could be correct. If you are to identify it correct, you almost get a 1. If you answer it wrong, you almost get a -1. Similar to that. But these questions would be very high yield, but only difference between the two here will be that if it is a single best response question, you have to go aggressive. You understand, aggressive, because the negative marking is 1/3. Here the negative marking goes almost 100%. So you have to mark the options which you are very sure of to make sure that you make full value of these questions. These are the two big patterns here. Look at the third pattern. Third pattern is match the following. Match the following, you have 2 columns. Column A, column B, and you can notice the length of the column B can be longer than the A. It can be variable. You have to match each of them. Like for example, in this you have a microbiology thing where you have a disease and you have a causative organism or a vector to be matched. Similar things would be there in an anatomy. You have a muscle and a nerve to match, attachment to be matched. So these are all possible things. Or biochemistry, enzyme and action to match. You can they can create a match the following here. In the match the following, you can notice that if you get it right, again they are not scoring the entire match the following together. This is what the prospectus says right now. They say plus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4. That means each option is being evaluated separate. That means if you are not able to match 3 but the fourth you are not sure of, you probably will have to leave it. Second is the column B does not have 4. You understand? If there were 4 each, then once you are able to do 3, fourth becomes automatic. Here it is not like this. You have to actually find, because there are two answers, two choices in the column B which are not the answer. So you have to be very sure on match the following. Again, the negative marking percentage is high, but usually I have seen in the past, even when I was a graduate and I was giving my own exams, match the following are more easier to do, especially if you find a way through it. You understand? If you are able to find out one, then you find out the second. After you find each one, the number of choices that you have to consider become less and less, and you are able to do it. That is why I feel that the addition of the number of choices in column B has made it tougher. Otherwise it was 4 choices, fourth choice would have been for granted. Here even the fourth choice cannot be for granted, and the negative marking is high. So you have to make sure that you mark only the ones that you are aware of. This is the third pattern. The fourth pattern they say is, and this is a very interesting pattern here, we say sequential arrangement pattern, where they will have 4 choices and you have to arrange them in a sequence, that 1 occurs before 2, then 3, then 4, or it is 4, 3, 2, 1, or 4, 2, 3, 1, like this. So you will have to put them into correct sequence. And you have to understand, like this could be in order of prevalence, order of appearance, or the age at which would occur at an earlier age, later. It could be embryological thing that happens first or second. It could be anything that has a sequence attached to it. So you have to make sure that these questions you get right. The reason I'm saying this is, the earlier 2 pattern, each choice had a 1 by 4, 1 by 5 like marking. Here it is a full 1 mark to be gained here. But it looks simple, but the key here is they are deducting a full 1 mark here. So now sequential arrangement becomes high yield, almost as high yield as the single best answers questions, but the negative marking is high. So you have to be sure when you mark them, but you have to gradually make these would make a big difference in your final score. The pattern number 5 is more or less clear. There will be each question which will have 4 alternatives, which will say A, B and C are correct, A and C are correct, B and D are correct, all are correct. And they will say, for example, in this they are saying clinical features of tetanus include. They have given 4 choices. You have to find which of them is the answer. Now it may look very easy to you, but the reward is also very poor. They're giving only 1 by 4 for the entire answer. You get 1 by 4 and get minus 1 by 4 is deducted. So these are low value questions, but the negative marking and the value is almost same. Same holds true for assertion reasoning. They would take a good chunk of your time when you apply assertion reasoning. I'll make a separate video to talk about them as well. But look at the scoring system: 1 by 4, 1 by minus 4. So the score that you get for getting assertion reasoning right is not too big. Even sequential arrangement, single best answers, they carry more marks. Now see here. So whenever you see assertion reasoning, you have 5 options to think of. Assertion is true, reason is true, reason is the correct explanation of assertion. B, assertion is true, but reason is true, but they are not connected. The reason is not there, they are not interconnected. C, assertion is true, reason is false. 4, assertion is false, reason is true. 5, both are false statement. Now the idea that I want you to understand here is that it is very, very important for you to consider them as 2 statements. Do not consider them as an assertion or a reason, because that is already telling you that one is reason, one is assertion. It may not always be true. So you have to consider them as 2 separate statements. Statement 1, statement 2. Okay? And don't run in putting a because in between, because it sounds easy that if the because is sounding correct, it is always correct. It's not like this. It's not so simple. So I would say please read them as 2 separate statements. Then think in your mind, are both of them correct or not? If you think one of them is correct and one of them is wrong, already the first 2 choices are gone. If one of them is wrong statement, it cannot be A or B. It has to be either of these last 3. Then you have to see which of them is wrong. If the reason is wrong, it becomes 3. If the assertion is false, it becomes 4. If both are wrong, it becomes 5. If both these statements appear right to you, Then you have to think about the reason, which one is the reason correct explanation or not. I would say how I would handle assertion reasoning question is, I would read the assertion, I would let an explanation of that fact come to my mind, and then match that explanation with the explanation they are giving. Instead of putting a because and although like that, because then you will end up making mistakes. You understand my point? I'll make a separate video, highlighting that point again. But these are very important questions. They play a big role in UG entrance exam in AIIMS. You have 60 odd questions in AIIMS UG entrance about this pattern. But if you notice, here, the marking scheme is rewarding only 1/4 for the entire question. This is what they've written so far. If there is any change in marking scheme that comes later on, we'll definitely explain to you. This is what the prospectus says right now. And the final pattern, which is the most, I would say, the longest length question. Here you have a theme. For example, there is a theme called as fatigue, and there is an answer option list. These are like 8 patients or 8 reasons why somebody would have a fatigue in the symptom. Okay. Then they will make a lead question. Like they will say, like the question is, for which of the following described in the scenario below, identify the cause from the answer. So this is the lead question. And there are 2 clinical vignettes or scenarios. And you have to find from these scenario, you have to match them with the option list given here. Which of them is best matching to them. So actually speaking, if you notice, it becomes a clinical vignette which has 8 choices. As simple as that. It becomes a clinical vignette with 8 choices, a overlying guiding theme like fatigue. That is how it works. But if you notice how the marking scheme will be, so in the number of scenarios in each of such question, in each of this extended matching type question will vary. For example, in this example, they have given you 2 such scenarios. Are you clear? 2 such scenarios. But the total mark will be 1. So 1/2 for this, 1/2 for this. If there were 3 scenarios, it will be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Number of scenario will vary. Okay, I hope you understand. And you have a almost equal negative marking there, 1/2, 1/2, like that. So these are, again, they will take a lot of time to read, and that reading is the speed is the key concern here. Because what you would have seen in the past, if the question becomes longer, the examiner gives so much information that, even, you are able to pick up the answer from that information. And that information is often missing if it's a very small question. It's a long length question, you have everything in front of you. You just have to find out. Only thing that changes are the probabilities. Let me explain to you. Now, probability of getting a question right in 4 choices is 1/4. But if it is 8 choices, it becomes 1/8. And that cuts out the guessing thing. So, if you understand the entire idea that any exam that you're giving, there is almost an element of some people guessing their way through, and these questions, these patterns have been created to eliminate that guessing and add an element of analysis to it. So that is what has happened here. Let me give you a summary again. You have these patterns of questions for you. Single best response, this is the only pattern where the negative marking is less than the positive. It is 1/3. This is where you have to become more aggressive. And look at the multiple true false option. This is same as PGI Chandigarh. Any option that you're sure of, you mark it. If you're not sure, you leave it. But you have to be, you have to score here because there are scoring opportunity here. Match the following. More or less standard things to match. There is no thinking involved. You need to know the disease and the causative organism. Whatever has to be matched, you have to just match them. And if you're able to match the 2, the other 2 becomes less easier because 2 choices are already gone. They become easier. But remember, the number of choices in column A and B may not match. B may be longer. So that makes the probability of matching a little tougher. But this is where the high yield is. And sequential arrangement, +1, -1. So this, out of all the questions, only the single best response and the sequential arrangement questions, they carry +1 mark. So this is where the value is. You can't leave a sequential arrangement question, or you can't just, not know it. It is +1. But if you are not sure, you can leave it also. This entire one will be cut from you. Okay. So if you notice, other than the first column, all others have a equal ratio of negative and positive to cut out on the guesswork. And look at the multiple completion type and reason assertion type. They are very low value questions. They are the ones with 1/4 for the entire question. In the match the following, each match is carrying 1 by 4. In assertion reasoning, the entire assertion reasoning is carrying 1 by 4. So that makes it a little low value for the time that you put in. If you are running in time crunch, maybe you can push them a little down and do the others first. You can, play a little bit with the timing here, I would say. But I also want you to see the entire idea here, that they've written that in the July session the majority question will be single best response. That means that, because it's already, we are on verge of April right now, so they have already, kind of taken it in their mind that, okay, in this session the more questions will be of single best response. So don't get overwhelmed by this. This is the entire crux of the matter. I've tried to give you an idea on it. I'll try to give you clinical and all examples in due course with videos on the channels. But what are we going to do? We have already, we on job, as soon as this was all announced, we're already working on it. But I want to reassure everybody, students who have studied with us in the past, who have, made notes, understood everything. So at DAMS, the reason that we are today at a leading position in this segment is because we have never gone over a pattern. We've always gone conceptual. All your notes, all the concepts that you made with us, they all stand. They all stand and they will help you, because we have always told you the why behind everything, We already talked about it. And to give you the edge now, we are doing a CBT on 10th of April. In this CBT, we will include questions on new pattern. Okay, we are working on the mathematics, how many in which pattern all, but we will put questions on new pattern to give you the practice. This will be in computer centers. This will give you the real match practice to give the exam. Please do register for it. If you are a serious candidate for mid-year exam, this should be given. Even if you are, aiming for the next AIMS exam, it is a good idea to give the exam, get a practice. That always helps. On 17th of April, we are doing a mock test. In this mock test, again, we will have the new pattern questions in it, and we'll try to, we are already working out some mathematics, but we will try to put in, a sort of a teaser for you so that you get an hang of the real pattern. And these mocks are aimed at people who are appearing for the mid-year exam. We have already announced in a previous video that we will be launching a AIMS capsule on eMedicos on 5th of April, in which we will try to include a special test discussion session where the new pattern questions will be discussed in addition to the concept teaching that we usually do. And we are going to do a special satellite based TND session. It will be a single day test and discussion session where we will discuss only new pattern questions with you. It will be a test followed by discussion with multiple faculty. This is what we thought we'll be doing right now. We will keep adding things to it. We will be, keep adding our support to it as a part of our, giving to the education sector. We will add a good number of videos on the YouTube and the DAM series channel to help you understand the concept. We are with you. But I again would tell you, don't panic. Whenever there's a change, some people panic. When they panic, they let go of the opportunity. The opportunity here is, now the repeat questions would not matter. The old guidebooks and all those, they have resources that have all copied those guidebooks into some platforms. They are redundant. Understanding the concept is the key. If you are a future AIMS aspirant, you want to appear for November, May, I would always advise you that clear understanding of concepts is the key. Try and understand the why behind it. Don't run after shortcuts. They will not work, I would say. And that is the entire essence of a Central Institute's exam. That is what the new pattern reflects. New pattern reflects a change towards more analysis based questions, more way of testing an individual's ability to get to the answer rather than the classic 1 by 3 negative marking. There will be a good number of questions which will be having almost 100% negative marking with them. So I hope you see that. And that is where you need to put your, two hats in the exam. One hat will be the more aggressive hat, which you do for the single best answers. And the second hat will be more controlled hat, where that if you get it wrong, if you are blindly guessing, you might be decreasing your chances to get into the most prestigious institute in the country. So normally there are two kinds of students. Like if you have noticed, like some people do well in PGI, some people do well in AIMS. Now for the AIMS exam, you need to be a blend of both of them. You need to have two hats in the exam. That is where you have to practice that. Okay, when I'm doing the single best answer, I'm more aggressive. When I'm doing the other pattern, I'm more guarded. But if you become too guarded, you will pull your chance. So you have to be like, if I know the answer or my gut feeling is saying, I'll play it. But if it is a blind guess, or I'm, not really aware of it, it's a value, it's a fact, you don't know it, you leave it. Another dimension that adds here is that in classical AIMS exam, you don't really see the, factual things. Here, the match the following and all would become little factual here, but they will help to test the individual's ability. So I hope I've given you a good summary of this scenario. I wish you all the best. We are committed to the cause. We are with you for this AIMS as well as the next and the next AIMS. Don't worry, we've been doing it for last 2 decades. We have been, training people for various kind of exams. So we know all the kind of, things that work in this kind of a scenario. You are in good hands is what I can say. And I am totally committed to your cause. We will make sure that you understand what you are getting into it. You will have a feel of it before you give the exam. I wish you all the best.